young girl, no older than 10, steps forward in the crowded press conference room. She holds up a crumpled piece of paper, her small hands trembling slightly as she raises it high enough for everyone to see. "Is this true?" she asks, her voice cutting through the murmurs of reporters and photographers like a sharp blade. "Did your mom really write this?" The question lands with an audible thud, interrupting the carefully orchestrated rhythm of the event. Melania pauses mid-stride, her polished smile faltering just enough to betray that something inside her has shifted. Her mind races. What is this child doing here? Why does she have that letter? The question hangs heavy in the air, silencing the room instantly. Reporters freeze mid-sentence, pens hovering above notebooks, while camera shutters click frantically. All eyes turn toward Melania, waiting for a response. The atmosphere shifts from controlled chaos to tense anticipation, thick enough to choke on. Whispers ripple through the crowd as speculation grows about what the letter might contain and what it could mean for Melania. She feels their stares pressing down on her, probing, searching for cracks in her armor. Melania freezes mid-step, her polished exterior cracking just enough to reveal something raw beneath. For the first time, uncertainty flickers across her face, her lips part as if to respond, but no words come out. She swallows hard, her mind racing. How much should she say? What can she say without unraveling everything she's worked so hard to protect? The contrast between her usual composure and this rare display of vulnerability leaves the audience holding their breath. Finally, she takes a slow, deliberate step toward the girl, her expression unreadable yet charged with emotion. The hum of anticipation fills the air as Melania stands, poised to address the crowd gathered in the grand ballroom. She's here to speak about her new book on family values, a topic meant to inspire unity and reflection. But beneath the surface, there's an undercurrent of unease. Microphones buzz faintly with static electricity. Reporters shuffle papers impatiently, and whispers ripple through the audience like waves lapping at the shore. She glances around subtly, trying to gauge the mood, but finding only masked expressions and restless energy. Something feels off. Her thoughts drift to the rumors swirling about her personal life. Is this why they're all here? Not for her words, but for answers she isn't ready to give? The sharp click of heels against marble floors punctuates the tension in the room. Somewhere nearby, a phone vibrates loudly before being silenced. In the back corner, a child sits cross-legged on the floor, clutching what appears to be a folded letter. Her presence feels out of place amidst the polished suits and flashing cameras. Why is she here? Melania wonders silently, her gaze lingering on the girl. There's something about her, something that pulls at Melania's attention despite herself. The soft golden glow overhead catches the lenses of countless cameras, reflecting shards of light that seem almost too bright. It's as though the room itself is holding its breath, waiting for whatever comes next. Melania straightens slightly, steeling herself against the weight of their collective curiosity. Beneath the polite smiles and professional demeanor, tension simmers just below the surface. Everyone knows they're here for more than another PR event. Rumors have been swirling all week about leaked documents tied to Melania's personal life. The whispers grow louder, though no one dares say anything outright. Not yet. One reporter leans over to another, muttering, "If this is true, it changes everything." Melania can feel their eyes on her, probing, searching for cracks in her armor. She straightens slightly, steeling herself against the weight of their collective curiosity. What do they know, she wonders silently, and how much of it is true? As she steps forward to begin her speech, the little girl suddenly rises from her seat, clutching the crumpled letter tightly. The movement draws Melania's gaze and freezes her in place. Whatever was planned for this moment has just shifted irrevocably. Melania's voice carries a practiced calm, but her thoughts betray the cracks in her polished exterior. "Who gave you that?" she asks, her tone steady despite the turmoil inside. She recalls years spent perfecting her public image, smiling for cameras, choosing words carefully, shielding herself from judgment. Yet here stands a girl, no older than 10, holding a crumpled piece of paper that threatens to unravel it all. The girl hesitates, clutching the letter tighter. Melania feels the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This isn't just about her anymore. It's about what she represents, or maybe what she's tried so hard to hide. Her thoughts drift to moments when she felt untouchable, only to realize how fragile that feeling truly is. She remembers her childhood in Slovenia, the quiet countryside, her mother teaching her how to write letters, the simplicity of life before fame and politics consumed her. Words can heal or hurt, her mother once said. Choose wisely. Back then, life was simpler. No cameras, no expectations, no one dissecting her every move. Melania shakes off the memory, forcing herself to focus on the present. But the contrast between who she was and who she's become lingers, deepening her internal conflict. The girl's trembling voice cuts through the tension. "Is it true," she begins, "that you told Mr. Trump he wasn't good enough for you?" Her question betrays both curiosity and fear, pulling at something raw within Melania. "You're very brave to ask that," Melania says finally, her tone softer than before. She sees not just a child, but a mirror reflecting truths she'd rather keep buried. Brave or naive, either way, the girl deserves an answer. But where do I even begin? Though absent, Donald Trump's influence looms large. If this is true, it changes everything we thought we knew about their relationship, a reporter whispers. Melania hears the murmurs, feels the lingering tension. How much of my life has been defined by him, and how much of it is still mine to claim? The question remains unanswered for now, but its implications ripple through the room, binding everyone together in shared anticipation. The girl's question lingers in the air, sharp and unrelenting. Reporters freeze mid-sentence, their pens hovering above notebooks. Cameras lower slightly as photographers wait for something, anything, to break the stillness. Conversations that once buzzed softly fade into silence, leaving only the weight of anticipation behind. Melania feels the shift in the room like a physical force pressing against her chest. Every heartbeat seems louder than the last, echoing the unspoken tension hanging over everyone present. She glances at the child again, clutching the crumpled letter tightly. Her voice falters as she tries to respond, but no words come out. Melania stares at the letter in the girl's hand, her composure faltering just enough to reveal cracks beneath. Her lips part as if to speak, but no sound emerges. For someone known for her poise, this moment of hesitation feels jarring, almost unnatural. She swallows hard, her mind racing. How much should she say? What can she say without unraveling everything she's worked so hard to protect? Her voice trembles slightly when she finally attempts to respond, betraying the storm brewing inside her. She knows the answer matters less than what comes next. The choice between honesty and evasion. The room holds its breath, waiting for her next move. Journalists exchange uneasy glances, unsure how to interpret the unfolding scene. Some lean forward eagerly, anticipating a response, while others shift uncomfortably in their seats. One reporter mutters under their breath, "This wasn't supposed to happen." His words ripple through the room, capturing the collective unease gripping everyone present. Whispers begin to surface, hushed but urgent, as speculation grows about what the letter might contain and what it could mean for Melania. Melania hears the murmurs but doesn't react. Instead, she takes a slow, deliberate step toward the girl, her expression unreadable, yet charged with emotion. Melania takes a deep breath, then motions for the girl to join her. The child hesitates but steps forward, clutching the crumpled letter tightly. "You're brave," Melania says softly, her voice tinged with both admiration and unease. "Come here." The two stand side by side, their differences stark, yet somehow bridged by this shared moment of vulnerability. The girl's wide-eyed innocence contrasts sharply with Melania's practiced composure, creating an unspoken connection that draws everyone deeper into their story. Melania glances at the girl, her mind racing. What does she know? What does she want me to say? As Melania looks at the girl, fragments of her past flicker through her mind. But those memories are tinged with loneliness, the weight of being scrutinized from every angle. Then came Donald. Their first meeting flashes before her, a whirlwind of charm, ambition, and uncertainty. She recalls moments when doubt crept in, when she questioned whether she could live up to the expectations placed upon her. "I wanted to be strong," she thinks silently. But strength isn't always loud. These memories reveal layers of vulnerability hidden behind her poised exterior, painting a fuller picture of who she is beneath the public persona. Each recollection adds depth to her current predicament, making the letter in the girl's hand feel heavier than ever. Melania swallows hard, her voice trembling slightly as she speaks. The letter. It exists, she admits haltingly. But not everything in it is meant for public consumption. Her words hang in the air, raw and unfiltered. She speaks of moments when doubt crept in, when she questioned whether she could live up to the expectations placed upon her. I've spent years trying to protect what's private, she continues, her tone softening. But maybe some truths need to come out. Her admission marks a turning point, as she begins to peel back the layers of her carefully constructed facade. Vulnerability shines through, as Melania's voice drops to a whisper. There were nights I cried alone, she confesses. Nights when I wondered if anyone truly understood me. Her words resonate deeply with the girl, whose eyes fill with tears. The audience feels it too, a raw honesty that humanizes Melania in ways no one expected. For the first time, she isn't just a public figure. She's a person, flawed and searching, like everyone else. Melania pauses, collecting herself before continuing. My mother taught me how to write letters when I was a child, she says, her voice steadying. She said, words can heal or hurt. Choose wisely. The memory brings a fleeting smile to her face, though her eyes remain heavy with emotion. That advice stayed with me, she adds. Even now, it shapes how I think about truth and trust. This anecdote ties her past to the present, underscoring the significance of the letter and the power of the words within it. The little girl listens intently, her small frame trembling as tears stream down her cheeks. Melania's words seem to pierce something deep within her, unlocking emotions she hadn't fully understood until now. When Melania finishes speaking, the girl steps forward without hesitation and hugs her tightly. Thank you for being brave, she whispers, her voice barely audible but heavy with meaning. Her gratitude feels raw and unfiltered, a reflection of the trust that has formed between them. It's not just a hug, it's an acknowledgement of shared vulnerability, a moment that transcends their differences. Melania feels the warmth of the embrace, her own resolve wavering under its weight. For the first time, Melania breaks character completely. Tears spill onto her cheeks, checked and unashamed. She isn't performing for an audience anymore. She's simply human, stripped of pretense and polished facades. Her breath catches as she realizes how much this moment means. Not just to the girl, but to herself. I didn't think I could do this, she admits softly, more to herself than anyone else. But maybe it's okay to let people see who I really am. This rare display of authenticity reveals the depth of her internal struggle, underscoring the transformative power of honesty. For once, she doesn't feel the need to hide. Gasps and sniffles ripple through the room as the audience reacts to the profound exchange. Even hardened journalists wipe away tears, moved by the authenticity of the moment. One reporter mutters quietly, I wasn't expecting that. The shared emotion unites everyone present, turning what began as a private interaction into a universal experience of empathy and connection. As the room collectively holds its breath, it becomes clear that this moment will linger long after the event ends, a reminder of the power of vulnerability to bridge even the widest gaps. Melania takes a deep breath, her voice steady but filled with emotion as she speaks her final thoughts. We all carry burdens we don't share, she says, pausing to let the weight of her words settle. But sometimes, letting someone see our truth can change everything, for them and for us. Her message resonates deeply, not just as a reflection of her own journey, but as a universal truth about vulnerability and connection. It's clear that this moment has transformed her, and perhaps those listening as well. She looks at the girl one last time, her expression softening. This is only the beginning, she adds quietly, more to herself than anyone else. Melania's tone shifts slightly, becoming warmer, more resolute. Love isn't perfect, neither are we. But that's what makes us real. Her words linger in the air, simple yet profound, distilling the story's themes into an undeniable truth about authenticity and shared humanity. For the first time, She feels no need to guard herself. Instead, there's a quiet strength in embracing imperfection and in knowing that even the hardest truths can bring people closer together. As silence falls again, the room seems to exhale collectively, carrying the weight of her words forward. The little girl hesitates for a moment before extending the crumpled letter toward Melania. Her small hands tremble slightly, but her eyes are steady, filled with trust. Melania takes it gently, offering a soft smile as she tucks it into her pocket without reading it aloud. The act feels intimate, deliberate, a silent promise to honor the moment and its significance. For both of them, the exchange is more than just a gesture. It's a bridge built on vulnerability and mutual understanding. As the crowd begins to disperse, the girl leans closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "I hope my mom reads this someday," she says, her words carrying a quiet ache. Melania nods, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. It's a small touch, but it speaks volumes, a silent acknowledgement of shared pain and hope. Her heart aches for the child, yet there's also a sense of gratitude. This moment has changed her in ways she's only beginning to understand. The quiet exchange lingers in the air, resonating far beyond the room. Viewers feel it too, a reminder that even those who seem untouchable carry their own struggles. As the scene fades, the bond between Melania and the girl remains etched in memory, evoking reflection long after the moment has passed.